Don't forget to subscribe, that way you save every week. And I just gotta say thank you to the incredible community for supporting this channel and the PSVR 2. That said, don't forget to check the chapters to learn about every game on sale. Starting with the incredible indie title that utilizes real handcrafted claymation and 3D scanning to create the dark fantasy adventure in a stop-motion animation style that will put Tim Burton to shame. This is The Midnight Walk, and it's at its cheapest ever at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Almost 1,800 people have already rated it 4.75 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, which sounds incredible. But I do have to say that currently the YouTube community is literally lit about this game in both very positive and negative reviews, which I'll get to in a second here. In this game, you must survive and outsmart the many monsters on your journey, using Pop Boy's flame to distract while you hide from and evade the many threats of the dark itself. Encounter new friends and experience awe-inspiring sights as you navigate a path fraught with both peril and affirmation. That said, at launch, this game did disappoint everyone as the resolution was not up to expectations, but thankfully they recently rectified this in the latest patch. However, the many playing on the base PS5, not the Pro, are still experiencing inconsistent frame rate issues that is very distracting. But the game is apparently incredibly cool to play. The hit VR first-person shooter survival game is Into the Radius, and it's 34% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 6% more, making it 40% off total. Even though I've not played the game yet myself, this is considered a must-have, like Gran Turismo or Resident Evil. Over 1,400 people have rated it 4.59 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The entire original Into the Radius experience is brought to the PSVR 2, complete with new features designed specifically for the headset, including foveated rendering with controller and headset haptic feedback. You find yourself in the middle of the Blighted Zone, cut from the outside world. Your guns and your wits are all you have left. Fight the deadly enemies, dodge dangerous anomalies, and complete missions on your way to the Radius Center to find your way out. Navigate with your realistic map, plan your route, scout out shelters, uncover loot caches, and try not to get killed. Everyone everywhere is going on about how amazing this is. If anything, I guess it's setting the bar on how VR games should be made. Celebrating the recently released paid DLC that is VR compatible, this flat screen game is perfectly ported to VR in Hitman World of Assassination, and it's currently 60% off. Just be sure to pay that $10 American for that PSVR 2 upgrade on the PlayStation Store, download it and install it, then load the game to unlock the Ultimate Edition to literally become Agent 47. Over 47,000 people have rated the flat and VR version combined, making it 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 83% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just a few months ago, I made a video detailing all the DLC that currently works on the PSVR 2, excluding the latest paid DLC featuring a James Bond villain, which I'm going to go over with you in just a second. But first, the main DLC that you're absolutely going to want to get is the Deluxe add-on pack, because most of this DLC is VR compatible. This is the exact same content that is included in Hitman World of Assassination Deluxe Edition, which I'm guessing will be on sale again in the next few weeks. And yes, you do save a bit more if you wait and get that bundle together instead. That said, if you already own the main game, I do recommend you get the Deluxe add-on pack at 30% off here. And with that awesome add-on pack, you're getting 2 new maps, New York and Haven Island, that are VR compatible, but the 2 Sniper Assassin maps are not in VR. However, when it comes to those unlockable deluxe items and suits, you will be able to use the Winter Sports Pack, which features the Snowball, Quick Draw, Pitten, Arctic Toolbox, and Winter Sports Suit. As well, the Smart Casual Pack includes the Smart Casual Suit, IO Elite S2VP earphones, and the IC8 Flash Phone. The Executive Pack features the IC8 Executive Briefcase, the ICA-19 Black Lily, and the Midnight Black Suit. And the Collector's Pack has a Remote Concussion Collector's Rubber Duck, and the Midnight Black Suit in that one as well. Interesting. The Special Assignment Packs number 1 and 2 are currently not available in VR. However, there are 6 deluxe escalations that are VR compatible and are unique in that they offer more items and cosmetics as a reward for completing them. The digital soundtrack, digital World of Hitman book, and director commentary for the mission introduction are not available in VR, as far as I know. And what's really cool is that all 7 of the deadly sins are also playable in VR. This contains cosmetic items which are rewarded for completing these special escalation contracts. It claims that the levels feature unique game mechanics not found elsewhere in the trilogy. And nestled into the storyline, the 7 Deadly Sins hallucinations take place sometime after Agent 47 is poisoned in Mendoza. The next thing to mention is that there are now 3 celebrity elusive targets that are VR compatible, but are separate paid DLC. Each has a cosmetic and item pack you can buy in the PlayStation Store, with the latest and greatest being a James Bond villain that is VR compatible, but not on sale.
Target is the elusive Shadow Banker, known only as Le Chiffre.
And with this, you're getting the Banker King of Cards suit, the Banker Silence pistol, the Banker rope, the Casino Monarchique chip, bracket 1 million, and the Monarchique, a 2-level arcade contract featuring the Banker elusive target. And it also says it includes a set of cosmetics for the Freelancer safe house inspired by the iconic elusive target mission. However, the Freelancer mode is currently not VR compatible. Become the iconic Zula Hendrix, an ex-colonial marine originally featured in Dark Horse Comics.
There's no easy way to say this. I found exactly what I was looking for on Perdan. Full-blown investigation.
As she makes her return in Alien Rogue Incursion, and it's currently 50% off right now. Almost 2,000 people have rated it 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. With her ever-present synth companion Davis-01 for guidance, Zula must infiltrate the infested Gemini Exoplanet Solutions research facility and survive the threat of the most cunning xenomorphs ever encountered using stealth and serious firepower at her disposal. The authentic atmosphere and innovative VR gameplay features will have you get into the action with gameplay that uses your body as the input. Along with true-to-life motions like opening doors and picking up objects, you also have full-body in-game physical presence for holstering and loading weapons, accessing inventory, turning on lights, and much more. And you'll need all that confidence against these xenomorphs who behave just like their cinematic counterparts, actively hunting you throughout locations, crawling through ducts and tunnels, and jumping on and climbing objects within the world. Oh, that sounds truly awesome, and from what I understand, the game has received a few patches now that addressed a lot of the issues that were present at launch, so I do think this game is good to go. Don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening Deluxe Edition. And it's 44% off. Over 2,300 people have rated it 4.44 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In the year 2028, the survivors of nuclear war cling to the existence in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro, desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. And what you're getting with this package, obviously the base game and some goodies, as you're seeing a complete list right here. First, you're getting this VR concept art gallery, which isn't in the traditional two-dimensional flip art style that we've seen in every other video game. This is an actual VR environment that you're walking around and looking at some of the objects. I personally, again, haven't experienced this before, but what I'm seeing here on Reddit, that's exactly what it sounds like. So really cool implementation there. As well, you're getting the Nautilus hide backpack, skeletal gloves, toy charm, and the Fallen patch. And from what I understand, this is only cosmetics. There are no actual bonuses for wearing these in-game. I think they're just skins altogether, but again, that has to do with the original Metro games. If you played them before, which I haven't, I can't speak to it. Get some sort of nostalgic flair from that, I'm not too sure.
We can solve this problem once and for all.
They're trying to make a vaccine. You want to come? Good dog, buddy!
Arizona Sunshine 2, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 45% off right now. Over 2,800 people have rated it 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, another breed of dog, the Corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing. And what's really cool, for those that didn't get to experience the first game, Arizona Sunshine, you can now get the new Arizona Sunshine Freddy's Bundle at 45% off. And this bundle simply puts both games together at an even better price for those that don't already own the original on PSVR 1. Otherwise, I recommend upgrading the first game for like $10 and then get part 2 on sale here. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR 1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. But the mechanics were not polished like Farpoint. I'm totally expecting the game to look as good as it is on the trailer. However, I'm hoping the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the controls are much better than what I remember on the PSVR 1, just saying. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode, and I do believe that was already available on the PSVR 1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And then they are claiming to have taken the Arizona Sunshine 2 mutilation and gore system and bringing it into Arizona Sunshine Remake, so that's really cool. As well, I feel it's very important to mention that Arizona Sunshine, if you didn't know, the original game did receive Best VR Game of the Year by Upload VR in 2016, Best Virtual Reality Game of 2017 by Dutch Game Awards, and Best HTC Vive First-Person Shooter in 2016 by the Vive Awards. The most advanced combat system to ever grace a video game has done it again. Introducing the latest massive update, Deadeye, in Hellsweeper VR, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Over 700 people have rated it 4.33 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. What's really cool is that this is one of the 18 games that is natively compatible with the bHaptics haptic suit and tack sleeves, giving you the most immersive experience possible. And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game. And then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. I keep telling people this is for the VR veteran. What I mean by that is you're not going to get motion sick. It's just that there's so many options to play this game. And the actual default controls, man, I totally hated. Jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And now with the latest patch, Deadeye, you can shoot magic through your fingertips, have environmental interactions such as freezing water or using fire on gas pipes, along with a slew of new traits and a new enemy type that is toxic and can self-heal. I've left the official patch notes in the description if you want to check out all the details. With yet another game that is pushing the boundaries of physics-based combat in VR, get ready to rampage through hordes of enemy bots and mechs in UNDERDOGS. And for the first time ever, it's 40% off. Over 170 people have rated it 4.76 out of 5 stars, with 95% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Very cool. And I gotta say, I'm excited to report that this is already natively compatible with the adrenaline-pumping bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, feeling that mech become a complete extension of your body. This simply is a roguelike fight club for mechs in the underground of the city, with over 130 items, weapons, and power tools to build the most overpowered smashing machine ever. The city's run by gangsters and psychos, and it's up to you to hustle and deal with over 40 NPCs, hire hackers and saboteurs, get into street fights, steal, and sell people out. And what's really cool is that the game includes a sandboxer mode that allows players to build their own customized sandbox arenas and share them with the community to explore the game's mechanics in fun and creative ways. Awesome. And even though I haven't played the game yet myself, everyone everywhere is going on about how addictive the physics-based combat is in this game. So I'm gonna have to check this out much sooner than later. Go Signal, a Stellaris game, is a sci-fi action roguelite, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 470 people rated it 4.42 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, you can check out the game for 30 minutes. And this is another action roguelike game. However, it's set in the Stellaris universe, where you captain your ship to battle a multitude of alien species, partake in dynamic space wars, encounter planet-sized creatures, gather valuable loot to conduct research, and more. No journey is the same. Expect these interstellar space battles where you're going to use the full artillery of the Aurora against enemy armadas. Loot or purchase power-ups like freeze rays, atomic missiles, or even dragon companions. The choice is yours. You're also going to scan exotic creatures for your logbook and conduct research in multiple tech trees. And also there's this asynchronous multiplayer allowing you to scavenge other players' deserted ships for valuables. That is awesome. And alongside the story mode, you're going to have these randomized maps make every session unique. Go Signal includes daily challenges with both global and local leaderboards to climb. And if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, which I was up until I read that description, to be honest with you, you can get Go Signal, a Stellaris game demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Vertigo 2 is a single-player action-adventure built from the ground up for VR, and it's currently 60% off. Over 900 people have rated it 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. This game has an incredible range of environments that makes Vertigo 2 a constantly fresh adventure. You'll have to face bizarre alien flora and fauna leaking from other universes. It includes both smooth locomotion and teleportation. You can carry an arsenal of 14 weapons, all with unique reload mechanics. Right on. As well, this has a diverse cast that brings the many characters of Vertigo 2 to life. At 10 hours long, Vertigo 2 gives a full-fledged single-player experience with replayability that allows you to blaze through the game a second time, taking branching paths with brand new weapons, enemies, and bosses. And that sounds completely awesome. The only negative, and I mean the only negative I'm hearing about this game, is that it doesn't have a consistent smooth frame rate. I'm not sure if that's throughout the entire game, but from what I understand, it's only inconsistent when it comes to the large open outdoor areas. I personally have not played this yet, but I'm very interested in getting this, and I did just get the PS5 Pro recently, and I did hear that it runs better on it, but I do believe everyone everywhere when they say that this game is a must-have if you own the PSVR 2. And another must-have bundle if you love the environmental puzzle games. This is Red Matter Collection, and it's 30% off. Over 1,500 people have rated this 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons. Decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail, brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR 2, and I felt like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever, the adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. In Red Matter 2, you'll play as Sasha, an agent awakened in a lunar base by an undercover operative and tasked with uncovering the secrets of the mysterious Red Matter. Follow a trail left behind by someone from Sasha's past, and be prepared for mind-bending puzzles, stealth and platforming mechanics, and intense combat sections. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it, so I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game, and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless. Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. Now, just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away. Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 45% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Over 200 people have rated it 4.42 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of old school songs that totally took me down memory lane here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total.
Okay, Okay.
I think Grandpa
How long has it been?
20 minutes.
Why did I agree to do this?
MADiSON is an immersive and terrifying first-person psychological horror game, and it's currently 30% off. Featuring disturbing gameplay and an unsettling, compelling narrative. Over 830 people rated it 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, these guys actually nailed the theme down. Not that I know anything from experience, but everything I've researched, they absolutely captured the essence of all of the lore and the theme behind this. So I really don't want to spoil this for you guys, because I do think part of the experience was not knowing anything about the game, jumping into it fully. That said, I am super excited to share with you guys. I did actually post a video called I Know the Best Way to Play MADiSON, and hands down I do think that is the only way to play this game. I'm not going to get into it. Please remember, this is a flat screen game that was ported to VR, so all the objects in the rooms and stuff, you're not going to be able to interact with everything. Normally you'd walk up to the area and see an icon, and then you know you can interact with it. Whereas in my video I'm showing you how to turn all of that off. So I highly encourage you, if you're going to get this game and you want to play it the most immersive way possible, hands down that is the way. That said, this game is not for everybody. It is the scariest game I've ever played, for sure. The most jump scares, the most panic attacks, essentially. So I just had to show the wife because she's totally petrified of the dark and avoids anything and everything scary. Months ago, before we got the second PSVR 2, she said she'd be willing to play anything in VR to support the channel, and that's before she knew that this game even existed. Awesome.
What's that? I don't like it, 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 I don't like it.
That said, the deal was she would play up until a certain save point and then continue if we could get 100 likes. So that's where I'm at, just over 80 likes. And now I seriously need your help to support my endeavor here, and go straight to that video right now and just click that like button to make her continue playing the game. And it's right when it's gonna get really intense. Step into the heart of a supernatural horror with The Exorcist Legion VR. And it's 40% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Experience the bone-chilling series like never before, with PSVR2's advanced haptics intensifying each terrifying encounter. I did play this on the PSVR 1 all the way through, and I think it was a collection of 5 episodes at the time, and I waited until they were all complete, bought them all in one bundle on sale, I think back then. Whereas now they're just bundling it all into one, thankfully, and then calling it this, with the extra PSVR 2 sense haptics and stuff. Being honest, after playing it all the way through on part 1, yeah, it was okay, but not MADiSON. When I say this, guys, MADiSON is what I expected from something like this with the theme of The Exorcist. Crossfire Sierra Squad is a hugely popular single-player campaign with multiplayer squad-based missions, and it's currently 40% off right now. Over 2,100 people have rated it 4 out of 5 stars, with 74% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. And I can speak to this really quick. The launch of the game did have a ton of bugs. Then a month or two later, they totally rectified everything. And then another month later, they actually add another massive patch that fixed all the introduction levels. After a few updates now of the game since launch, I can recommend it at that price. And unlike all the other first-person shooters that focus on the online competitive multiplayer, this is about the single-player campaign and the squad-based co-op missions. So cool. And it does include 39 types of weapons, featuring pistols, rifles, throwable and throw-backable grenades and sniper rifles with revolutionary scope mechanics, giving you plenty of options to dispatch 17 types of enemies. And in classic arcade fashion, you'll engage with heavy artillery like helicopters and LAVs. The one thing I highly recommend, because I did play the game all the way through on the default, which was arcade, I did not like it. You need to play realism mode. I'm showing you right now, when you buy the game, just change that to realism. And with that, you're going to actually take your enemies down with 1 or 2 bullets. That said, you will also go down in 1 or 2 hits. So it totally encourages you to take cover at all times, which I absolutely love playing in full room scale VR. Playing that way feels the way that I wanted the game to begin with. So I ended up playing it all the way through, unfortunately, arcade. Thankfully, letting you guys know, go the realism route right away. Highly recommend that. And then there are 50 squad missions for single player or 2-player co-op. And of course, they have this 4-player horde mode co-op, which I've never played before. So the replayability, the amount of content is absolutely there. So yeah, really cool that we have that option to play a first-person shooter campaign-based game. Tetris Effect Connected is the coolest version of the most iconic game, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 7,000 people have rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, I grew up with the Tetris for sure. I do think this is the best version by far. Love the VR medium, love the effects, but it's the way that the actual game adapts to every rotation, every movement you do. It actually has that sound effect connect with you in game. It's like you're actually integrated into it. It's really hard to describe that to you. But unlike the PSVR 1 that I did play and I thought it was good, the particle effects were not that great on PSVR 1. In this game, everything shines so brilliant, so colorful, so vibrant, so smooth. And I have to hammer this in. All of you out there, like me, who are playing PSVR 2 and you gotta wait for your DualSense controllers to charge at like an hour, this is when you put in Tetris and use your DualSense controller and play that way. And before you know it, you've had a few games, all of a sudden your PSVR Sense controllers are charged. So for that alone, just having another PSVR 2 game to play while your controllers are charging, awesome. There's a journey mode, that campaign, that's what I'm doing. It just throws you into an area and then you start playing. It's really interesting. And the connected part, they have this online multiplayer mode with up to 4 other people or 3 other people at the same time. I have not played it before, but if it's anything like the original Game Boy, where you deplete one of your lines and it goes onto somebody else's screen, that sounds awesome to me. Again, I do highly recommend, if you have this on PSVR 1, just pay that upgrade fee instead of buying it again. Much cheaper, and it is totally worth it. Now, it's time to play the real Tetris, made with full VR mechanics. This is Vetrix Worlds, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 46 people have rated it 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And what I mean by the real Tetris in VR, as you can see on screen here, you're actually having to use your physical hands to grab the actual blocks and rotate them, realistically, and place them in that area. So cool. And you can do this playing, again, competitively against somebody beside you, or cooperatively where they're on the opposite side working on the other layer. There's 2 layers of Tetris blocks going on there, one in the foreground and one in the background. So unlike Tetris, you're getting that full 3D effect where you're using the block and rotating it forward and backward, not just left and right. Very cool, guys. Awesome. From the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation VR 2, Rez Infinite is currently 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 6,500 people have rated it 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And to speak to this from experience, I did try this on PSVR 1. I did not play this on PS2, 20 some years ago. However, I was really disappointed on PSVR 1, I gotta say. The first level, it was just like 2 or 3 enemies coming at me, and I was like, okay, I really did not get the addictive factor whatsoever in all the awards that I won. And then I rolled the dice, paid the upgrade path, and I'm so happy that I did, because the game is so much better than the PSVR 1 version. It really is. With the 4K HDR OLED display, this game literally shines. It is gorgeous. Honestly, so cool. Such a trip. And I can't believe this game existed like 20 years ago. Legit, as you're seeing it, but on flat screen. So really bizarre that this actually adapts very well to the VR medium. You can choose to take advantage of the eye tracking technology where you're just looking and it locks onto the enemies this way. But I highly recommend just using your VR Sense controllers and aiming manually that way. And it was so much fun. So much fun. And unlike the PSVR 1 or the PS2 versions, this one includes an Area X mode. Captain Toonhead vs. the Punks from Outer Space is an over-the-top tower defense game, and it's currently 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 48 people have rated it 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. I have not played the game before, but from what I understand, you do play the traditional tower defense game in third-person mode, setting up your base, and then you go into first-person mode and actually do the action or the combat side of things here. VR Scout has said Captain Toonhead might be the most over-the-top VR game ever. As well, VR GameFAQs has said one of the best tower defense games I've ever played in VR. And this does look absolutely wacky and bizarre. Every character, every theme, all of it just looks so insanely weird. And you're supposed to balance the action with strategy, as shooting alone will not defeat the waves of cyber chickens and terra sharks. Combine those pinata tower bombs with your throws in a very strategic way if you want to save the Enter cubes and defeat Nicola Voorhees' punk army. I don't even know. I just know this is a tower action defense game, and every everyone that has spoken to this, literally played the game, reviewed it, has gone on to say how much fun it is. I've never been into tower defense games personally, but yeah, this one definitely stands out amongst all of the others for sure just by looking at this. So weird. Anyone in the comments section that does own the game has played it, can you please let us know your experience? That way we know whether or not to grab this at the sale price. Swing and throw yourself freely across spacey jungle gym playgrounds in Toss, and it's 60% off. Over 200 people have rated it 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The whole premise of the game is that you've simply crash landed on a cloud planet and need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes and rank up to become a Toss Master. It touts to be the VR game that uniquely captures agility, timing, and gamer skill required to play the beloved platformer classics. Try to race against the clock with Time Attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible each round. You can also compete socially by time and rank and follow your friends' leaderboard's ghosts, just like the Mario Kart time trials. And don't forget there's modifiers like zero gravity and double toss by becoming a Toss Master. I've only heard great things about this game whenever it's been on sale, and a few parents now have mentioned that it's a blast to play passing the headset around with the kids. Let the music move as you catch notes, ride the rails, and dodge obstacles in Synth Riders, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Over 1,600 people have rated it 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally understand why, because this is my favorite music-based rhythm game to date. And just to reiterate that PSVR2 upgrade is such an amazing difference, I do feel that this game needs to be in every PSVR2 owner's library. And on top of that, this is yet another game that is natively compatible with the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves that will pump the music directly into your body. Really quick, the game is super simple to play. You have 2 balls as your hands, 1 of each color. You have to connect that ball with the same color ball on screen. And then you have these tracks that you're just having the ball hit, and you follow that track. Super simple stuff. However, when you hit a ball, connecting it, and you hit it dead on, you'll get more points. And then you can add modifiers with force, giving you more points. So the more power you put into it, the more points you'll get out of it. When you see a yellow ball, all you're doing is connecting both hands together, and that makes yellow. When you see a green ball, you get to choose left or right hand, and you have to finish the rest of the greens with that same hand. That is it. That's the whole game, aside from dodging any panel that comes your way, forcing you to dance and move your body. And unlike any other game, I really felt that the more I danced with the music, because I don't dance at all in real life, the easier the game became. So instead of just, being rigid and stiff, you can see I just totally let go, and all of a sudden everything started working. So amazing, so kick-ass, such a great workout, so much fun. If you love the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, I highly recommend you check out Drums Rock Linkin Park Edition, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 45% off total. Over 1,300 people have rated it 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 79% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers, as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough. But yes, this is sit down, pick up, and play instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign, and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. The game does keep getting all of this love and support, so much DLC going on. And speaking of which, in this edition you are getting the Linkin Park Music Pack, and this does include In the End, Numb, Faint, Somewhere I Belong, and One Step Closer. Assemble your party of miniatures, play action cards, and vanquish monsters with the roll of a die in this award-winning tactical tabletop RPG, Demeo. And it's 50% off! Over 760 people rated it 4.54 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just to reiterate, you can totally play this alone, which I did, or cooperatively, featuring crossplay, which supports up to 4 players. And yes, I can already recommend this from my personal experience, and I've only played the single player mode. And oh my, I have to say, it checks all the boxes of not just hitting the nostalgia, but hitting the fun factor in a small, well put together, polished package. Because this is a board game experience, you are choosing your pawns, which is your class of character, which does come with its own set of cards uniquely to that class.
The Guardian
ready.
is your righteous tank. She can soak up a lot of damage and is deadly in melee. The Assassin
Death is my profession.
is a sneaky backstabbing bastard and also good with traps and bombs. The sorcerer is of the lightning bolt flinging type, but can also use his spells for crowd management. The hunter.
I'm ready.
Well, she hunts, using bow and arrow, but she can also call on beasts from the wild for aid and charm monsters, amongst other things. But I'm thinking you just want to know how this little gem plays, right? Right. You can play Demeo in two ways. Either gang up with a few friends, 2 to 4 of you together for a nail-biting co-op run. Or go it alone in skirmish mode, where you'll control 3 champions.
It is time!
Planning your path through a floor and working together is a must if you hope to survive all the way to the end. You'll have to fight through several dusky floors of the Elven Necropolis. On each floor, there's a monster holding a key. You'll need that key to open the floor exit and proceed to the next floor below. And there'll be plenty of other monsters to fight along the way. The game is turn-based, which means all champions take a turn, spending action points to move, attack, open doors, and so on.
And what's really cool is that each class can only move a certain amount of spaces based on their speed, and they can roll that die once to attack generically, and that costs 1 action point.
You have 2 action points to spend each turn.
And notice the cost at the top of each card. Some of them don't cost anything, and you can use another card costing 1 action point.
And then the enemies do their thing. Attacks and card outcomes are resolved with a die roll. You'll either hit, do a crit. Crit means critical hit,
which just means double damage.
And if you miss, your attack might hit something else nearby,
including friends.
Spells, special attacks, and other items are all represented by cards. We've got potions that will heal you up or make you faster or stronger. There's a banish spell that'll teleport an enemy to a random spot. A barricade that you can use to create bottlenecks or even block off rooms. A repeating ballista. It'll shoot bolts into the monsters every turn until destroyed. A magic shield that'll halve all incoming damage. And much, much more. You'll start with a few cards on hand. You can find more in chests spread out across the floors. Or earn by defeating enemies and increasing your card meter. There's also gold for you to gather. I'll be here to greet you in between each floor. My bazaar comes fully stocked, and at bargain prices too. I'm happy to buy any card you don't want, at a reasonable price. Due to some wondrous wizardry, the monsters' loot, entry and exit points, and even the order of the many different floors is randomized. Every run is a fresh experience. It's up to you to coordinate with your friends on how to beat each floor, or at least survive it. Reaching the final boss isn't easy, and it's not meant to be. Beating that stinking abomination will earn you plenty of bragging rights. Until someone else does it faster, that is. So, get your friends together, choose your champions, dive in, and above all, have fun.
The battle commence!
Now you can take everything you love about Demeo and compete against each other in Demeo Battles VR, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 57 people have rated this version, 4.32 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 11% did give this 1 star. This 1-to-4 multiplayer online competitive turn-based strategy game features over 10 maps tailored for intense player versus player combat. Unlike Demeo Battles VR has you assemble an army of monsters to fight alongside you. From rats and goblins to cave trolls to giant slimes, a cast of over 30 plus creatures to choose from, all with a mind of their own. This instantly reminds me of Farpoint's 1 vs 1 online multiplayer mode where you would spawn monsters to fight with you, and it worked beautifully back in the day. In this game, each battle is 2 vs 2 where you can choose to control both champions on a team, or you can partner with a friend to compete against another team. Sounds awesome. To begin, choose a champion to match your playstyle with over 80 cards to purchase with coins when you enter the arena to build a unique loadout of monsters. Sharpen your skills for tactical triumph with over 60 single player challenges before you battle it out online in ranked mode with average matches lasting just under 20 minutes. That's really interesting because I do remember Demeo could easily take a couple hours each session, so I'm really interested to see how this one plays out. And what's awesome is that it does include cross-play support to ensure that you'll always have a game to play. Right on. Anyone that owns it, plays it, loves it, or hates it, please let us know in the comment section whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Experience the Renaissance like never before in the House of Da Vinci VR, and it's 20% off. Over 160 people have rated it 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 96% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Right on. This captivating puzzle adventure immerses you in the mysteries of Leonardo's world. Embark on a quest filled with puzzles, inventions, and hidden objects. As Da Vinci's most promising apprentice, you are summoned to Florence only to find that Leonardo has mysteriously disappeared. Test your skills with war machines, complex lockboxes, and immersive room escapes. Use an extraordinary device that allows you to see events from the past, providing crucial insights and aiding in your quest. Many of these challenges are based on Da Vinci's actual inventions, alongside locations inspired by his original artworks and the historical city of Florence. Anybody out there, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. I'm assuming so with that incredible rating there. Humanity is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming, and it's 50% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra member, this game is already in your catalog, so do not buy this. With over 3,000 people rating it 4.19 out of 5 stars, 79% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. This is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming. Humanity puts the fate of all mankind in your hands. So yeah, you are literally a dog charged with commanding massive marching crowds to jump, turn, push, float, shoot, and climb their way to salvation. Guide the masses through 90 plus stages filled with obstacles, enemies, puzzles, unlockable skills, and wild boss fights in the narrative campaign. Very cool. Or you can browse a wide array of user-made levels or build your own, crafted via the super easy-to-use in-game stage creator. Talk about awesome replayability there. You know, that alone just intrigues me. And this is a flat-screen game that included a VR option mode, so you can play this on flat screen if you choose to, but I have no idea why you would. Anyone in the comment section that owns this game and plays it or has any experience whatsoever, should we pick this up at that sale price? Bend and twist reality in this VR puzzle adventure, A Fisherman's Tale, and it's 67% off. Over 750 people rated it 4.39 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And yes, back in the day, I have not played it on PSVR 2. It was a lot of fun on PSVR 1. It was a Russian doll-based environmental puzzle game where you're seeing yourself in the micro and macro version and having to work with yourself to solve the puzzles. So very cool concept back in the day. Loved it. I do believe this would be just as fun, if not look much better, on the PSVR 2, and the tracking. You can use your whole body to turn. That's probably going to work, I would assume. But I don't know if I can recommend anyone getting it nowadays with all the different games going on, even during this sale. But if you want this and the latest game released on the PSVR 2, they currently have the Fisherman's Tales Bundle, and it's 67% off. And with this bundle, you are getting A Fisherman's Tale and A Fisherman's Tale 2. And with the sequel, over 270 people rated it 4.08 out of 5 stars, with 76% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And what makes this one unique is that you solve puzzles using your own body, detaching and controlling your limbs, and finding new attachments to progress throughout the game. fight, work out, and dance to an intense synthwave soundtrack in Masters of Light, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Only 41 people have rated it 4.34 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And what's really cool is that this game is natively compatible with the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, integrating those psychedelic sights and sounds directly into your body. Shadows are threatening the galaxy, and it's up to you to join the fight and conquer 36 levels with unlimited replay. Unleash pinpoint accuracy with the PSVR2 eye tracking and feel the thrill of every attack with the Sense Controller haptics, and amplifying the intensity of each battle through its headset haptics. And just recently, the game has had a significant patch, now allowing PSVR2 users to play the game the way the developer originally intended, using the latest hand tracking feature. I've never played this game before and really don't know how to play this, to be honest, but every time I see this trailer, I'm immediately taken back by the music and feel this one could be trippy as fuck. Anyone in the comment section, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know if we should grab this at that sale price. Strike from the darkness and drink the blood of your prey in Vampire: The Masquerade Justice, and it's 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Over 600 people have rated it 4.16 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. This is an open-ended narrative adventure RPG set in the World of Darkness universe. You have the power to strike fear in the hearts of a criminal underworld as an untraceable shadow, picking off targets one by one. Shadows are your ally. Take to the rooftops and seek new paths away from enemy eyes. Use shadow traps to snatch up unsuspecting prey and drag them into oblivion. Activate Cloak of Shadows and slip unseen through enemy defenses. Punish the guilty with brutal abilities. Launch yourself towards opponents with immense force, or boil their insides with Cauldron of Blood. Approach from behind and sink in your fangs to stock up on blood. Load your crossbow with special bolts to kill, distract, or knock out guards from afar. The dark skies of Venice provide ample opportunity to level up powers and build a character suited to your playstyle. Tackle side missions away from the campaign to earn more experience. Convince NPCs to aid your quest, solve puzzles, uncover collectibles, and test yourself with optional tasks in each mission. Wow, that sounds awesome. Again, I've never played this before. Anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, played it, if you love it or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price. VR Skater is designed from the ground up for VR to give you the most authentic, challenging, and immersive skating game ever. And it's 70% off. If you are a PlayStation Premium member, you can try the full game for an hour and a half, but over 350 people rated it 4.06 out of 5 stars, with 74% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 12% did give this 1 star. Feel like you're really skating with the most innovative input mechanics, allowing you the board control you've always dreamt of. Moving your hands in the same motions you would follow with your feet gives a perspective and level of control never before seen, and the sense of fulfillment experienced upon perfectly executing even the most basic tricks is something that never leaves you. I've personally never skated before, so I have no attachment to skateboarding whatsoever, but apparently this is going to help you master the art of street skateboarding, and you'll be guided through flip tricks, grab tricks, grinds, slides, and manuals, enabling you to conquer each of these skills to carve out skating lines and combos during game run, all of which each helps you rack up those points for that all-time high score. You'll skate across 7 stunning urban environments, as well as the mega ramp. Test your mettle by launching yourself across the chasm. Enjoy experience points, medals, trophies, leaderboards, and the VR Skater Shop, where you can exchange your hard-earned XP and swap out your grip tape, trucks, wheels, and of course that all-important board artwork. And they do offer some DLC, some of those FX trucks there that you're seeing here, but it's not on sale currently, and they do have an extra map that's called the SL Pro Series Tour, and it's not on sale as well. However, you can get VR Skater Pro Bundle, and it's 70% off, and this bundle includes that base game with that SL Pro Series Tour, which is a bunch of maps, actually 5 brand new maps total, inspired by professional street skateboarding championships with smooth concrete terrain, as you're seeing right here. These are actual competitive arenas built for skateboarding indoors. Very cool. And with these maps, they bring with them new exciting game modes and mechanics, which that's all I can speak to. I have no idea what those are. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game and know what that's about, please let us know. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get. This is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 64% off. Over 1,200 people have rated this 3.95 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with the Deluxe Edition, you are getting the exclusive PSVR2 skin, the official soundtrack, and the digital art book. Right when loading the game, you know, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR 2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, you know, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, you know, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on. And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s, and all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. Again, what I didn't expect is they throw you into the game, and then I'm walking around and I realized, oh, wait a sec, I'm in a giant lobby of people. They're walking around with me in this like giant arcade. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. You know, the game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earned to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. So knowing this game is really cheap pretty much on the regular, and I'm getting such a top-tiered experience here, but that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR 2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR 2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR 2 launch, just as a heads up.
Let's find out what you're made of.
Step into the ring and immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding excitement of cinematic boxing with Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition, and it's 60% off, which is actually cheaper than paying that upgrade fee if you own this on the PSVR 1. Over 1,700 people rated it 3.86 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 15% gave this 1 star. For me on the PSVR 1, it was incredible to play anything like that, to be able to stand in the spot, duck, dodge, weave, punch, uppercut, and hit with accuracy. Actually get a full-fledged workout just being in the gym, not even boxing somebody online. The one takeaway I really disliked about the first one is you did have to use your hands like a speed bag to go forward and to go backwards. And I understand you didn't have any joysticks on the PSVR 1 to do that, so it was intuitive at the time. The fact that I can use these joysticks now moving backwards and still blocking and throwing punches, man, that sounds amazing. And to think this is 4K HDR OLED display, there is a substantial upgrade to this game. And for those of you that didn't know what this game was about, you literally are playing Creed from the movies and you're training with Rocky Balboa, literally having these training exercises in the gym, legit awesome exercises, and then based on your performance on your training, you'll have more stamina going into your next boxing fight. So it's not just sake of doing these practice runs, it's forcing you to do really well in your practice so you're actually better in your boxing match altogether, which is an awesome mechanic. Seriously, very cool. And it tires you out before you go to face the character next time, so it's crazy. It gets you to actually slow down. And unlike the PSVR 1, again, this does have cross-platform support, which is integral to, you know, to have somebody to fight online. That was one of the big problems on PSVR 1. In order for me to get that platinum, I needed to beat somebody online, and it ended up being my wife.
It happened unexpected.
And if you're looking for a first-person shooter with a lengthy campaign, apparently Cactus Cowboy Desert Warfare is that game, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 80% off total. Over 230 people have rated it 4.72 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And now your body can feel every bullet and blast because the game is natively compatible with the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, delivering the ultimate immersion. And the key takeaway I keep hearing about this is that the gun mechanics, the gameplay, is just a lot of fun. This is an 8-hour campaign with over 12 unique VR guns with manual reloading for each. And you can totally customize your guns with scopes, grips, and lasers, with over 30 weapon skins to unlock throughout the game. At an excavation site close to the Bugland border, a mysterious cave is uncovered when the Bug Army launches a sudden assault. They're after something that is inside the cave, something so precious that it sparks an all-out war. Step into the role of Cactus Cowboy, pushing back against the Bug Army and revealing the sinister plans of their leaders. Sounds simple enough, but again, I actually did end up getting this on sale last time and put about 3 hours into it, so I'm about 1/3 of the way through the campaign, and it's decent so far. That's the best way to put it considering I haven't played it fully. But do keep in mind that this is a budget title for sure, and it does show, but the gunplay is good so far. I will have to spend more time in this to give it a fair review, but it's hard to recommend with all of the other awesome games that are currently on sale right now. Join the Autobots in the fight against the Decepticons as you brave your new exosuit in Transformers Beyond Reality, and it's 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Over 300 people have rated this 3.06 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. The story for this one is that the Decepticons have discovered an incredibly powerful but completely unstable and corrupting energy source called synthetic dark energon. With this power, they can finally take over their home planet Cybertron and will destroy Earth in the process. And from everything I've read, I think the big bummer here is that most of the game you're actually fighting the same Insecticons. So these generic bug type robots are everywhere, and you might have a boss battle here and there, but it's like you're in this exosuit as all the other Transformers are fighting the boss. Whether or not you're helping, I'm not too sure. Again, I will play this eventually, but I do believe the PSVR2 version is much better than the PSVR1 version, and you can upgrade it for free if you didn't know.
Hello? Philip, I'm in trouble. It's the magician.
The virtually hand-painted Retropolis 2 Never Say Goodbye is currently 38% off. Over 110 people have rated this 4.46 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The story is set a year after the events depicted in The Secret of Retropolis, and continues the story of Philip Logg, the hard-boiled robo-detective, and Jenny Montage, the automated femme fatale that just can't keep herself out of trouble. Using Philip Logg's extendo arms, the player is able to collect items from afar, use them to overcome obstacles, and move the plot forward. And get this, the entire game has been meticulously hand-painted within the VR space, boasting an astonishing 2.5 million virtual brushstrokes, making every moment a stunningly detailed piece of art. Dyschronia Chronos Alternate Bundle is a collection of 3 episodes in one, and it's 70% off right now. Over 120 people have rated it 4.23 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. You live in Astrum Close, an artificial marine city sealed off from the outside world under a vast dome. This safe haven is seen as the last paradise for humanity as it stands on the brink of destruction. Astrum Close is a scientifically advanced city that has a 0.001% crime rate. Revolutionary new technology predicts crime before it ever happens, thanks to the tireless efforts of city founder Albert Rumford. But the very foundations of Astrum Close are shaken when Rumford himself is found murdered in a crime that by all rights should have not been possible. Your name is Halcyon, and you are an investigator with a difference. You are known as a variant human, a person who has the unique ability to both see into and alter the past. And your unique skills are exactly what is needed now. But if you're unsure and you don't want to get the entire package and you want to buy the individual episodes, you can, with episode 1 currently at 70% off. But from everything I'm reading, the entire game actually picks up at the end of episode 1, and it really starts to get going on episode 2, and that is currently on sale at 70% off. And of course they are offering episode 3 at 70% off as well. But just saying, again, everyone everywhere who has played Dyschronia has said just get the alternate bundle. Don't waste your time getting the individual episodes.
Welcome to Electrician Simulator VR.
Ever wondered what it's like to be an electrician? Well, wonder no more, because Electrician Simulator VR is currently 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Only 69 people have rated it 4.22 out of 5 stars, with 82% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. And I gotta say, I'm really curious to see what this game actually feels like using the natively compatible and incredibly cool bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, because I'm assuming you'll physically feel jolted when things go awry. Awesome. Repair outlets and switches, lay cables in the walls, and connect electrical appliances. But don't forget about the fuses, because an encounter with electricity can be very dangerous. Buy the necessary items to perform tasks in different ways. Install lamps, replace bulbs, but just be careful not to break anything or you'll have to pay out of your own pocket. And for those of you that loved the original game, expect to see classic customers as you visit their homes and take part in new, redesigned missions. I'm really not too sure what else to say about this, or whether or not it's actually fun to play. Anyone in the comments, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. The cult classic that redefined mobile games has landed in virtual reality in Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 350 people rated it 4.1 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And seeing this in VR, unlike using the mobile phones where you're using your finger and judging the right angle to shoot at, to see this at full-fledged life-size 3D, using your actual skill in that slingshot and knowing it's all physics-based where you hit that area. Super cool. In this game, you join Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the Blues to save the stolen eggs. Explore the remote island where the greedy green pigs take their vacation in 104 fun-filled levels. Once the new boss pig, Dr. Frankenswine, takes over, it's time to slingshot your way through even more challenging spooky levels gameplay, where the beaches are scary, the cliffs are creepy, the slopes are slimy, and the peaks are terrifying. Throughout the levels, choose from different angles to make your slingshot, using classic Angry Birds gameplay elements to progress and strive for the best possible score. But the fun doesn't stop there. With the level builder, players not only have creative freedom to design and play their own levels featuring their favorite feathered friends, but they can now also share their creations. That is really cool. Have them ranked by the greater Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs community and discover an unlimited amount of player-created content. I didn't even consider the replayability of this game, already knowing there's 104 fun-filled levels already designed for you, and then seeing the infinite replayability. Just the fun factor, I'm guessing, would be there, you building your own obstacles for your friends to play on. That sounds really cool. Now, the first-person shooter that is for everyone, apparently, this is Sugar Mess. Let's play Jolly Battle. It's 20% off currently. And as you can see here, this is a total cartoon paradise, and it claims to be a fun arcade first-person shooter for the whole family. Kind of sounds weird to say that, but yeah, it does make sense. You're going to embark on a journey through the amazing levels of the Sugar Kingdom. Make use of the vast arsenal of weapons that get stronger as you use them. Challenge mighty bosses and use their weak spots to defeat them. Or you can use special items to gain an advantage over your opponents. Other exciting activities are awaiting you, including solving challenging puzzles, riding in a unique vehicle around the kingdom, as well as feeling the rhythm and participating in musical performances. Fend off the attacks of the hilarious yummy enemies that shatter into pieces upon impact. Dive into a fairy tale world and find out the exciting story of the Sugar Prince and his mysterious enemy. And what's really cool, if you're totally unsure whether or not this is for you, me included, you can get the Sugar Mess Let's Play Jolly Battle demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. And one of the scariest shows I grew up watching, the Twilight Zone, is on sale. It's 40% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. The first episode is called Character Building, and it's about a video game director discovering that workplace cruelty is a dangerous game. Terra Firma is after an environmental apocalypse. One survivor must face mysterious phantoms as he searches the city ruins for a glimmer of hope. And with the last story, Deadline Earth, the clock is ticking for a science fiction writer who finds himself captive on an insidious alien vessel. A virus has infected over 95% of the world's population, turning the infected into meat-hungry walkers in Survive. And it's currently 20% off. The game does have a free upgrade from the PSVR 1, and apparently the PSVR 2 version is substantially better all around. Almost 300 people have rated it 3.71 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. Play single player or co-op with up to 4 players in this open world survival horror with over 18 hours of campaign that will have you progressively level up to unlock new rewards while searching for food, water, and of course lots of ammo. The missions will take you through vast levels, including many buildings that are fully explorable for scavenging loot, pushing the player to a non-linear approach to gameplay with huge free roaming maps. With 3 game modes in total, you can also play The Trials, featuring Classic Horde mode, Defense mode, and Escape mode. The third trial is Survival, where you'll be constantly leveling, crafting, feeding, and fighting. What's really cool is that there is no HUD in the game at all, having you use your military tablet for menu options, along with all realistic weapon reloads and holstering your weapons. Anyone in the comments, if you owned it, played it, loved it, or hated it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price, because that game description actually does sound pretty cool. It's not only a video game, it's real tennis. This is Tennis on Court, and it's 67% off. Over 250 people rated it 3.45 out of 5 stars, with 57% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 19% did give this 1 star. Claiming to have real tennis engineers working on the game, everything from the racket, all the tennis equipment is used by top players on the ATP and WTA tours. You're gonna lift, slice, drop shot, retro, perform all those effects and feel like a real tennis player. At the core gameplay, you do have arcade or realistic. That's awesome that you can choose between that. Very cool. You do have 3 different types of moving, such as teleport, automatic, and manual. Interesting about the automatic, I'm assuming it snaps you right to where you need to be to swing that ball. That is a very cool option for those of you that don't want to have to move your joystick. Very neat. 13 rackets with different characteristics to match with your playstyle. You're going to get 6 incredible stadiums with different evolution surfaces such as clay, grass, and hard. As well, you'll have 5 assists to help you to perform. Service hit assist, position assist, ball trajectory correction, and more. And there's also a spectator mode to watch your friends or future opponents performing in live. So even though this game claims to be all about the realism, the simulation aspect, from everything I'm hearing in the past, when you're playing somebody online, the negative here is that you're seeing their avatar react like half a second later. So the ball will be hit and then you see the rubber banded arm move and you kind of get thrown off by it and then you're swinging too late or something. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own this game, please let us know whether or not that's been corrected when you're playing people online. That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged Air Guitar is currently 60% off right now. Over 370 people rated it 3.41 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it, and just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those 2 other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there. So that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. You know, there's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff, so when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked, hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them.
You had never heard of Happy Funland Theme Park.
Now, I can say from experience, Happy Funland was not fun and did not make me happy whatsoever. And it's currently 35% off. Over 230 people have rated it 3.82 out of 5 stars, with 69% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. But I have to say, I am not one of them. I did get a free review key at launch, so I covered it immediately, and it was littered with bugs. No joke. It was actually almost unplayable for me when I found the jankiness. The frame rate was so bad and inconsistent throughout. Really, really disliked it. As much as I usually go on and on about all the problems that were with the game, you can check out my review video. I go on and on about it, literally. And I did say it in my video, even with all the problems being fixed, I don't think I can recommend this. So yes, please check out the video. I don't want to talk about it for 5 more minutes when you can actually just go take a gander yourself and see whether or not you'd like this. Mixture is another platformer for the PSVR 2, and it's 38% off right now. Only 51 people have rated it 3.92 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 18% did give this 2 stars. And I have to say, I did start playing this game, and I've only put 1 or 2 hours into it, and as you're seeing the ratings right here, I do feel completely mixed right now. But it just has enough for me to go, oh, you know, that's actually really cool. Picture playing a moss-based game where you're seeing your little guy running around and you can attack and stuff, but at the same time, I'm using a weapon wheel by holding a button down, and I choose a specific potion that I'm making, one of them being like glue, and then I throw it on the enemy or enemies, and throwing the actual bottle, you can choose between aim assist and no aim assist. I actually went no aim assist, and I gotta say, the tracking's awesome. I was able to actually throw these bottles and connect them to the enemies there without any problem, so I was very happy about that. Games like Moss and stuff didn't offer that, so it is giving something new, but it does feel like a Quest 2 game. You know, the actual graphics aren't that great. They're really bare bones. I feel like, okay, like Moss on PSVR 1 looked way better than this, what I remember. And the frame rate, when I'm moving the guy around, it doesn't feel silky smooth, and you would expect that with this bare bones looking game. So yeah, the frame rate not even perfectly smooth. Or in mid combat, I'm having to look literally straight down, like I mean hurting my neck straight down trying to see what's going on. So you can totally tell this game is not polished, but it is introducing these new concepts I've never seen before in other games. So, you know, I still feel like I have to put some time into it to see if there's anything else to speak to about this. But right now, I just didn't like that frame rate. It wasn't perfectly smooth, and that throws me off when I'm totally used to that on most of the games now on PSVR 2. Gorilla Attack and Bridge the Gap are now bundled together, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. Rampage through a sprawling cityscape, smashing buildings, tossing cars, and leaving a trail of destruction in Gorilla Attack. Just under 100 people have rated it 3.1 out of 5 stars, with 59% giving this 3, 4, or 5 out of 5. And to my surprise, this is one of the natively compatible games for the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, allowing you to feel every smash and bash in your arms and body as you devastate the city. Now, I cannot speak to this game from personal experience, but I can say I highly recommend you guys check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review on the game. And I'm going to leave a link in the description because I do think he does an excellent job and totally informs you of what you should expect if you decide to get this game at that sale price. Introducing yet another take on the Lemmings formula with modern VR mechanics, this is Bridge the Gap. Only 18 people have rated it 3.78 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% did give this 1 star. And the whole premise of the game is that you're a friendly spirit entity tasked with helping these little monkeys find their way through the mysterious Bricklands. You must create safe passages between portals as you lead the monkeys to safety, helping them overcome all environmental obstacles along the way. And this touts to have 5 unique settings with 80 varied levels, with more coming soon. And even though the game's been out for just a little while, I've only heard great things about it so far. Anyone in the comments section, if you own it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Now, if you just want to get Bridge the Gap by itself, It's currently on sale at 70% off as well, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. And if you want to learn more about the game, you can rewind about a minute in the Bridge the Gap and Gorilla Attack bundle. Momentum is the key to winning your deadly duel in Broken Edge, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 160 people rated it 3.81 out of 5 stars, with 67% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. Broken Edge is a 1 vs 1 VR fantasy sword fighting game where you embody iconic warriors in deadly duels. Claim victory in the arena as a fierce samurai, a valiant knight, an untamed ronin, or one of the 5 other fighters, and more. And what's completely unique about this game is that each warrior wields their own weapon, coupled with their own distinctive martial style and stances. Learn and master their art of combat to awaken the energy of your blade and dominate your foes online. Choose your fantasy based on your favorite fighting style. Again, you can duel as a knight, a samurai, a duelist, a ronin, pirate, Viking, Persian, barbarian, and tyrant. This claims to have cutting-edge fencing mechanics where you move and swing your sword freely as you would in real life. Rely on your tactical skills to block incoming blows and break your opponent's sword at the point of impact. Interesting. Feint, slash, parry, smash. Use your best moves to strike your enemies. Hone your skills in the dojo or engage in solo mode. Take part in the global contest to climb the ranks online. I didn't realize there was a solo mode. Here I am thinking this is only 1 vs 1 online and that's it. And then it says fight and interact more intuitively with the new eye tracking system. Interesting. Anybody who owns the game has played it. If you can please let us know in the comments section whether or not we should grab this at the sale price. That does sound like a win to me. And if you're like me and you loved playing SimCity back in the day, the PSVR 2 has Cities VR Enhanced Edition, and it's 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Over 180 people have rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars, with just under half the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just speaking from experience, I have soaked in, I want to say a full day, if not 2, into this game. And it was very hard to get into, I gotta admit. There was just so much to learn and figure out. It is that SimCity complication. But as I started to get the hang of things, I started to see the simplicity behind everything. It really is not that complicated. But yes, I have not been enticed to go back after spending 2 days on this, but it is the full SimCity experience, if that makes sense. Fantavision was originally released on the PlayStation 2 and is back on the PSVR 2, and it's currently 60% off right now. Over 130 people rated this 3.32 out of 5 stars, with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. But that said, just speaking from experience, I did buy the game during launch. It may have been patched since. When I popped it in, I wasn't initially impressed with the colors and the vibrance. There's just something about the fireworks that seemed a bit really fuzzy, and even the backgrounds themselves, to me, the buildings and whatnot, didn't appear this super clarity that I'm used to after playing like Horizon and Pavlov and stuff. But either way, the game is a puzzle-based game like a Columns or something like that, where you're making these connections to the same colored fireworks that you're hitting there and you're exploding them. So I can see the addictive factor here if you're into those types of games. But because I was so excited with the PSVR 2 and then I dropped to this, I felt like, no, I'm going back to Pavlov like ASAP. So I didn't give this more than probably an hour and a half. But I do know there are a lot of people back in the day that did enjoy the actual experience. So this would be the way to play it in full VR, I would think. So yeah, sorry, I cannot personally recommend this game just from personal experience.
We just got a call from the Black Rose Mental Hospital in Craven Lane 11. Any of you nearby?
Afterlife VR is another adventure-based horror game, and it's currently 60% off right now. Over 160 people rated it 3.21 out of 5 stars, with a completely mixed bag, but most gave it 3, 4, or 5 out of 5. As Adam Bernhard, a young rookie police officer on a night patrol, you receive a call that will change your life forever. Uncover secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a great danger. What is really lurking behind the door of a well-known mental facility, where Adam's younger sister Allison was recently sent? Is there any connection between missing patients and hospital workers, and the groundbreaking study about the Indigo Children phenomena? Uncover the secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a threat to themselves and to others. Project Wingman Frontline 59 is a flat-screen game with 6 VR add-on missions, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Over 2,000 people have rated it 2.74 out of 5 stars, with 46% giving this 1 star, but 32% did give this 5 stars. I do know there was like a huge fan base for Project Wingman, but from what I'm hearing, the graphics themselves are not that great. The actual fun factor isn't there for the 6 missions that they provide. It feels really short. But yeah, everyone everywhere has been talking about how let down they felt. Anyone in the comments section, if you've had a positive experience with this game, please pipe in. Let us know, because otherwise I'm just regurgitating what other people are talking about. I've never experienced this before. But many people have been consistently saying the same thing about this. Trip! A new way to meditate is 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. 430 people have rated it 2.44 out of 5 stars, with 47% giving this 1 star, but 21% did give this 5 stars. Since the last time this was on sale, I do have to give a quick shout out to Mundane Morsel here in the comments section saying, man, Trip is awful. I wish people would speak out about it more. Easily my most regrettable PSVR purchase. I understand that graphics aren't everything, but it looks atrocious. Also, most apps are far cheaper and accomplish much more if you're searching for therapeutic relaxation. And I do have to say, I totally understand where they're coming from, because Toy Trains for me was something that I felt took me away from the worries of the day and had me wanting more at the end of each day, where Trip feels more like a chore where you have to constantly log in and evaluate your emotions throughout the entire week and month if you want to take this seriously. This is literally designed to help you breathe at timed intervals with a very soft, slow, methodic voice that guides you through each meditation. It is excellent for what it's designed to do. It is not a game to just sit back and trip out to visuals, looking at something like that. Quite literally, this app is designed to take anywhere. It is very overwhelming to just pop in and see all the different menus going on, all the different exercises. I didn't even know where to start, what to do. And then here I'm learning that you're going to track how you feel each day as you're doing it. Very weird and unique. I did only play this for 45 minutes. Please understand this. And, I was pushing through it because I wanted to play a game not knowing, no, this is forcing me to chill out. Tarzan VR transports players deep into a fantastical jungle world teeming with action and excitement. And it's 40% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Only 33 people have rated it 2.76 out of 5 stars, and as you can see, this is another completely mixed bag of reviews here. Swing, swim, climb, and fight your way through dangerous enemies, predators, and challenges. Enhanced for the PlayStation VR2 experience, the environmental wonder and unparalleled freedom as the legendary Lord of the Jungle. When I'm looking at this trailer every time, it does remind me of like a Quest 1 game. It doesn't look that great from what I'm seeing on screen here, so I don't know what to expect, and everything I'm reading is it's okay. I've yet to have somebody say, oh man, you really need to try this game, it's a lot of fun. So I can't recommend. I've never played this before, but anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game, you played it, love it or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price. Extreme Off-Road Racing VR is another game I've never even heard about and can't speak to from personal experience, but it's currently 85% off right now. Over 8,400 people have rated this and the PS4 flat screen version combined 3.6 out of 5 stars, with 57% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% did give this 1 star. That said, I highly recommend you check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review of the game, as I absolutely appreciate his breakdown and what you should expect if you buy this game. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for that video, and if you want to see how this game plays for yourself, I also recommend you get the Extreme Off-Road Racing VR demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Experience the thrill of driving a powerful American truck in Truck Simulator 25 VR, American Driver, and it's currently 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 87 people have rated this 1.67 out of 5 stars, with 77% giving this 1 star, but 10% did give this 5 out of 5. And I think Brian from Without Parole explains the game best in just a couple minutes while giving you excellent in-game examples. So I gotta leave it to him, as you're seeing his footage right here, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description because I highly encourage you to check it out, because I'm actually quite curious to play this game now. Well, guys, all of this I'm doing right now is on purpose. And that is all the games and DLC for this year's summer-winter sale, going on until Wednesday, August 13th. If you guys like this video or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.
PlayStation